Winging it. We are winging it. Can you hear me, folks? I need a sound check. I'm having to do it for my browser. So hold on. Welcome to Nightcap. My name is Nate Bomberg. You know the deal. It's 10:30. It's Monday. I'm going to be short and sweet tonight. Been a fun day of technical difficulties, but I'm still going to give you a little spice. So hang tight while I fix my audio, just in case you can't hear me. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, I'm gonna pop it off, and I'm gonna pop. No, I don't need to pop off. Cool. All right, you should be able to hear me. No, you can. All right, I think you can hear me. Cool. Looks good. All right, listen. Welcome to Nightcap. I'm not going to go long tonight. I'm going to go real short. Hopefully, this is working. I'm doing it through the browser. I did all kinds of crazy stuff today on my stream, trying to get this resolution problem. I was pixel perfect, and now I'm doing this dance. And so I got my green screen set up right now so I can do all this stuff. But anyway, excuses aside, we are on week 4 of Nightcap. You know the deal. This is the year of experimentation. So if this is the first time you're watching, look, I rant and rave about politics. I don't have much to say tonight because I've kind of been a little bit apathetic, and it's not good. I'm here to fire you up, but I'll tell you why. I'm seeing the same patterns play. That's what I'll talk about tonight. I'm seeing the same patterns play with the stock market and gas prices and everything else. And, you realize that this economy is we have the central bank that can control things and is there to hopefully protect, right, against major crashes and things like that, and to become the fiat currency, all these things, right? And so we still have these busts and these booms. And, nobody ever sits there and fucking stops and says, all right, I mean, people do, right? People ask why we're still going through this cycle, but they get called a socialist or communist. But if you're going to build a system that has booms and busts into it, and that's supposedly going to be the thing that's going to elevate people out of poverty, then you need to cushion those busts and maybe top off those booms. It's just like kind of common sense if you think about it. You can't be going like this. You know what I mean? There's deaths in the valleys, and there's people that are going to space when we have people dying here. So that's been bothering me, seeing that the parties are, that's the whole point of Smashing the Party, is to tell you we don't have problem solvers in there. I know the liberals are going to get mad, and people are like, Joe Biden's doing a great job. There's still things that he's not addressing. Like, it's still status quo Joe. And I'm not some radical person. It's just, to me, when there's common sense solutions like Medicare for all, where the mathematics backs it, then it's just kind of annoying to watch folks act silly about it. Let me make sure my filter. I have this stupid filter on. I don't know why, but anyway. Still looks dope though, even on a bad day. But I think so. Hopefully the stream's looking all right. It looks all right. My screen. I can't even see the chats. Hold on. Let me see if I can see the chats. Oh, it just says go live. Who knows? What happens if I do this? Oh, shit. Look at this studio. All right. Anyway, listen, I'll get back to it. So just to give you a little update on what I've been up to, today I was spending a little time working with some folks that are going to help elevate the game for each other in ways that I think is going to help this channel. And one of the things is I'm going to be learning kind of how to do cinematography from somebody I think that has the experience to be able to teach me this. And I'm going to back into why, trust me, this is a political show, but I need to get to the point where I'm putting out content that is attractive, not just to my friends and family or the ones that hate me. I need to put out something that's going to be premium. And it's not chasing a dragon, but while I'm doing it, I'm filming this process too. So that's going to be content. And again, the whole point of this play is to grow this audience somehow, some way, however the fuck. And this is the year of experimentation. As I told you, I'm giving myself a lot of room to fail this year. But I wanted to make sure that I at least held to a schedule. And so far I've been doing that. I was still 2 blog posts this week, but I didn't have content that I really felt inspired about. I'm kind of feeling this struggle, and I'm seeing the pattern that happens. You read books and you watch this video or documentary on this time, and you learn about these laws that are passed for certain reasons during a certain context, and you see that this ebb and flow of fear that kind of comes about. And the system almost kind of takes advantage of that fear in some ways. Like right now, you can short the market, you're going to make money. So there's optimizations in our society that are built in to kind of maximize fear in some cases, and it can be a profit center. I know it sounds crazy and far-fetched, but when you think about our system that we live in and how, we if it's the best system in the world, lifts all these people out of poverty, why can't we make a system that really doesn't have any poverty? Like that's the aim, not just lifting them out, like getting rid of it. I know it's kind of biblical and all, but that's kind of the way I've been thinking about this. And that's why this kind of apathy is set in right now, because I'm watching these guys just kind of like fight over the filibuster, and Joe Manchin sitting back in his yacht doing coal shit. And then Cinema's out there doing her shit, shaking hands and doing all this stuff. And it's like the press plays on that to try to divide. And I'm like, this is like so tribal again. Cause I'm catch myself getting caught up in the web of course I'm going to pick sides when the argument's obvious, but then you start kind of doing the name calling, which again, I'm not opposed to. Useful names, ones that are accurate, not like racist names, but things that bust on somebody's ideas or plans. I'm okay with that. I've called people stupid too, sure, but you get my drift. So you've got this whole engine that's behind this thing, kind of layered as the communication layer around this broken system that we're in. And so this system that is reporting is also broken because it's based on maximizing its profits and so forth and so on. And I hope I'm not too quiet. I know there's probably one person watching, but so, this is why, apathy sets in for me, is like, we're just, I don't want to stand I told you so mountain, but I kind of feel like I do need to say that Elizabeth Warren would have been a better president. I'm going to support Joe, of course. I mean, he ran against placenta. I've said this. I know it's a disgusting analogy, but I don't really have anything positive to say. I just said I don't name call, but I do treat people the way they treat others, I guess sometimes. Maybe I shouldn't. Whatever. My point is, I've been also focused on trying to figure out things I can capture your attention, get my quality up, spend a little money on the camera, doing this stuff. And look, I am definitely not rolling in dough. So I'm looking for all the support I can get. But I'm also kind of built into this plan of having a lot of failures over the next 5 years. And so there's kind of the way that I approach this is, this problem is big. If you look at the folks that are out there that have large voices, you can kind of see that they had some kind of launch pad that got them into that perspective. And it's not to say they were lucky. It's just they made good choices, were there at the right opportunity, worked hard, and met that kind of clutch moment where they had a large audience. And so, I see sometimes folks get on Twitter or Instagram and they're like, there for 2 weeks. And they're like, I have 50,000 followers. I'm like, I have 300. Like, am I smashing the party? So, but again, this isn't the year to focus on that, but it's just kind of, you kind of start to think about how you can get to the point where I don't want to get into the system as opposed to just sensationalizing things. I want to try to create a narrative that people can understand that, like, these are the patterns. One thing, I know I'm a little all over the place, but this is going to make sense. And I don't know why my nose is itching. No COVID. But one thing that I feel like is one of my strengths from when I was an engineer, I'm still an engineer by trade and everything else. I can do jobs, but is that I feel like I had the ability to see patterns. And I think that's something that a lot of folks have when you can see the larger picture, right? You're taught patterns in computer science, but actually seeing the larger patterns of like user interface and how things work and how they integrate and all these things, that ability enabled me to do things that maybe someone who was more technical than me couldn't. And I could also articulate that. And so that's something that I think I'm trying to do with this show, is like take something that's super complex, talking about our economy, how things work, getting people out of poverty, all the nuts and bolts of how it works together and how things, it's all crazy, right? I mean, it's just so many layers. Like everyone has their own ideas. You've got interest groups, you've got special interests, and this guy's making money on this. So, it's like not some simple thing where you just take a side. You don't just go, okay, my team, and they're doing everything right. You got to step back and look at both parties and say, look, I understand this is the system we have to work in. I'm not sitting here, tear it all down and fucking run over the Capitol. What I'm talking about is like, let's be truthful about the problem. We've got half the country not believing there's a fucking virus. I mean, or thinking, threatening guns and stuff. If they, my nose is really itching. Somebody thinking about me? Something? So they've got these, they've got folks that don't even believe in the vaccine or don't believe in the virus because for whatever reason, they learned on Facebook or however. And Facebook's just the easy one to demonize here. We really have another structural problem with education, critical thinking, how to analyze information. No one's trained on it. No one even understands in Congress how technology works. There's, a couple years ago they were talking about tubes and whatever. So that whole fact that I can see that picture sometimes is debilitating. And it's like, why don't people understand that this is like way beyond Democrats or this or Republicans or that? And right now, Democrats are fucking weak and Republicans are batshit insane following Trump. That's a fact. But again, that doesn't really solve any problem. And it doesn't really have it. That's still, I'm just bitching about the fact that there's tribes and that we can't say, okay, look, like, come on. Is it really? I get like the identity politics things is completely weird for me to defend. Like these people are feeling marginalized. Okay, cool. Unmarginalize them. Whatever you got to do, unmarginalize them. That's that simple to me. It's not like anything that I feel or have. Why they feel marginalized makes sense. Okay, let's. And sometimes you're gonna get mad because it makes you feel less or something. I don't know. It's just bizarre. But like these things, when you come down to that core level, and then you kind of have a system that's built around this, and there's layers and layers, and then you have it cracked. The whole thing's just cracked. You're gonna have people that are gonna succeed. You're gonna have this picture that paints this bright American dream. When I went to the doctor to get something tested the other day, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, I don't know about the insurance on this one." And I'm like, "What do you mean? So you would recommend I do this test, but not because of the insurance?" And I'm fine, by the way. It's just but the point is like, it's just like we kind of just normalize this whole weird thing of like, yeah, I kind of would pay the whatever money it costs to stay healthy. Like that's not even a question, but yeah, so there you go. There's my money. And you can charge whatever you want. Unfortunately, we've just allowed that. I mean, I go on and on and on. You see, the point is this whole, I overuse the word, but my monologue, soliloquy, rant today is really about the fact that I'm focusing on how I can get my message out. Right now, I'm apathetic about how it's getting executed, and there's good stuff going on, right? Not everything's bad, but I'm not happy with how it's being executed, and so I sit here and struggle with like getting excited about things. The one thing Donald Trump obviously did is he fired me up, But now what I'm fired up. I'm fired about the fact that like here we go again. Like here we go again. We're gonna do the battle. Nothing's gonna get done. Like we're gonna patch the edges, maybe fucking plug a couple holes. And I'm not saying that none of the bills passed are good, but like we're still not addressing these core like systemic problems that we've normalized from that affect our daily lives. I mean, from healthcare, everyone sitting here knows what I'm talking about. It's like not secret. Education's kind of fucking like weird now. Like y'all know. So these things really, kind of drive me to insanity sometimes. Not really, but to this point of frustration where I'm like, I gotta take a breather because they're fighting, Dan Crenshaw and AOC, and they're making fun of AOC for this. And I'm not saying Democrats are all innocent on the back and forth. And I get it. Look, it's it's brinkmanship, right? You're trying to get the people riled up because those are the people that vote. And that's fucked up. Why can't we train people like this is your duty? This is your, you're compulsed to vote. Get out and vote. Mail it in then. You can say no comment. I don't care. Just mail that fucker in. You contributed to democracy. You basically said to everyone, you don't give a fuck. It's on the record. Fine. Shit goes down. You can back off too because now we have a record of it. I'm not saying everyone gets identified by their vote, but there has to be some way that people aren't just kind of driven to vote for this cracked system continually, punching themselves in the face and not like see the light of day. Like it just, and I wake up and I'm like, I fucking want to get my message out. And then I got fucking Joe Rogan saying dumb shit. Howard Stern's killing it, but he's also, that's not the path I want to take. Neither one of them. And I'm going into this and I, this fire of teaching what I want to do. And I have all these ideas of how I can present my information. I'm like, why can't people understand like it's more than just about like who fucking won your fucking team or whatever? And I'm saying like it's got to get to the point where people give a shit. So that's one of the reasons why I'm spending this time doing cinematography and stuff like that. It's outside of my scope. I'm not even, I'm walking into a world where people are very creative. and they're just naturally like this. And I'm kind of coming into it like, bull in China, and I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. But I'm willing to learn. I'm understanding that I'm not going to know what I'm doing forever until I stop enjoying it, probably. So, but this is all part of the plan, and I'm on this earth long enough to do this. I want to continue to kind of build this thing out where it's like something I can be proud of. It has a megaphone, has a voice, making change. I'm paying the bills, and we're good. So you notice, I will say, paying the bills. Speaking of paying the bills, just got my brand new one. Somehow, somebody jacking my hats. I have 2 hats that were taken, or stolen, or lost. One or the other. Maybe the latter, but it's a new gear. It's red. I got a black sweatshirt. Go buy. If you want to support me, go pass some likes around, but go spend a little money, or go, a couple people were really nice and they were like, you know what? I'll just buy a subscription to your blog. And by the way, I'm promising 2 blogs a week. I'm on schedule so far. I need 2 more this week, but that's, sometimes they'll be private. If I feel like I share something too much, I'll make it private. And if you have a subscription, then you get to see that. But the other thing is it supports me, and it's just an easy way to throw a couple bucks. It's like buying a case of beer, or maybe the difference between an ad or something that supports this. I mean, I've got AWS, I've got all these charges of running this whole stuff that's kind of cumulative. So everything helps. But that being aside, that's my plea. That's my plea. I made it short and sweet, but you're supposed to do that shit. So I'm trying to do that shit more. It's kind of awkward. So tonight I'm going to be short. And again, I will get fired up. I'm fired up. I'm just fired up. I'm kind of like just kind of stewing and planning right now. Like, how am I going to attack this beast that's fucking out there, training people to kind of accept the status quo and believe everything they're taught, without critically examining the information that they're being taught or even presented in any form, even this one. I mean, you can trust Nate Bomberger, of course, but you need to vet, I'm not saying vet me, because look, I already have I told you, there's opposites research galore. But what's important is that you also take the things that I'm saying and say, all right, well, where's this coming from? And I try to give disclaimers on things, like when I say something about COVID, I'm not an expert, but this whole thing comes down to, my opinion, part of the cracks in this system that say, allow people to continue to look at a strong man all across the world that are kind of being warped by the phone in their hand because they're consuming information. And by the way, I've found different tricks to pull myself out of the mix. I'll get on there and I try to support people. Sometimes I'm liking everything. Sometimes I'm doing whatever. Sometimes I'm just like, all right, nobody's going to know where I'm at. Nobody's going to know anything about me. I'm going incognito. And so I have these different ways of interacting with social media, but there's also this critical analysis part that's always going on with what's happening in the world. And so, as I said, this whole kind of dump that I just did helps to capture kind of the mindset of what's going on behind my head about politics right now, and why it's kind of difficult to go, get all F-bomb and swearing spiky about Joe's agenda when I'm like, I mean, we're just, we're still talking about things weird. We're not really addressing these. And look, again, people are going to call me a communist. I get it. They're going to call me a socialist, like fucking idiots. Cause like, I don't care about any of the shit. I really don't. I don't have, and that's like, probably a lot of people are like, well, once you become more educated in political science and, socioeconomic, blah, 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 blah. I just want to say, like, I'm going to keep it simple. There's a problem. And all right, theories aside, there's money to fix this problem. I know, theories aside, why don't we fix this fucking problem? We all agree there's a problem, like shit like that. Like it's just simpler to me. Okay. So that's what I'm going to try to bring to the table here. So support my fuck. Go to smashtheparty.com/shops if you want to buy some cool gear. It supports me. I get like $3 or $4 a pop. Maybe it's overpriced. Some of it's good. Some of it's like weird, but like I've never had anything bad. I'm using a third service because I'm too fucking stupid to hook up with a local person, which I will. Someone reaches out to me. I tried, but both connections dropped me. Not drop me, but just things happen. So look, I've gone on long enough. I'm tired. I was doing this whole cinematography thing today, going to look at somebody else's camera. I was doing all these things that are going to help to get the message out, which again, that keeps me fired up. But right now it's like, I know there's stuff going on and there's important stuff, and Ukraine, Russia is a big deal. So I'm not ignoring that there aren't stories out there but I'm not a news person. I'm a commentary rant and raven motherfucker. And I just bring the spice when I have it. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. I do want to say thanks again. Again, over the weekend, somebody bought a shirt, somebody bought some other stuff, and then I had another subscription. So that's great. Like that little bit helps. Like it's awesome. I have these goals. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers, and that's not that much. Paying subscribers would be nice, obviously. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here. We can sustain this. So I'm excited about it. I'm working hard behind the scenes, and I delivered on time. I think I might have been a minute late, but I wanted to do it anyway. So nobody said anything, which I'm going to turn this chat off because that makes everything weird. Everything's weird if the chat's on and I'm not saying anything. So people that watch this replay, dude, you have no followers. All right. Anyway, lone viewer, appreciate you watching. I'm gonna get off for the night, and I'm going to continue to do the editing crap that I was doing before. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10:30, and this is the last week. This is the final week. I take a week off. Sometimes it's 2. I'm gonna take 1 off. And I'm gonna get back on, but I use that week to recharge and retool and all the stuff that I've been tripping over lately, getting all that resolved. So this is gonna be an interesting week because I'm gonna throw some curveballs and I'm gonna drop some spice. But today I think I'm gonna end before 11 o'clock, which is dope. So somebody's talking about me. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 10:30. Thanks.